Hi there, welcome back to my channel Scrap and Coffee. I wanted to do a quick video on some magnetized closures that I'm making in the Stay Relaxed folio, is what it's called, I believe. And I just wanted to let you know that these closures, they are not necessary. You can do without, but it's just keeping everything, your two compartments on the inside, nicely together. But it's optional. Let's keep it at that. So I did one already because what you need to keep in mind is that one of the closures needs to be attached here to the front cover. So please do that before you decorate your front cover. I kind of went wrong there, but I've worked around it. But yeah, so I've done one already right here. So this is the closure there, and I'm going to do one more here on top. So in order to make the closure, I've put the pieces in the cutting guide. I've got two pieces, and I just used scrap pieces that we had left over from constructing the folio. So we had quite a few pieces that looked something like this. They were 7 1/4 in length, and I just cut strips that are 1 1/8 of an inch in width from one of those pieces. So this is 7 1/4 by 1 1/8 of an inch. And then the only difference is that one of them needs to have a 1/2 inch gusset, and the one for the bottom needs to have a 5/8 inch gusset, so the space between the two score lines. And I've made my long piece here 4 1/4. So what I did is I lined up one piece in my scoreboard, and I scored at 4 1/4 and 4 3/4 for a 1/2 inch gusset. And then this is the part that you can attach. And then for this one you score at 4 1/4 and 4 7/8 for that 5/8 inch gusset. So you get quite a long attachment strip if you use a scrap piece like that as well. So you can leave it like that. You can cut this shorter if you don't need it, or for example, I've worked with strips here of pattern paper, so if this attachment strip has this much length, then you might want to keep it shorter here to hide it under your pattern paper. So those are things that you can keep in mind. Now what I did here is, so this one will be attached on the front cover, and this one will be attached on the back cover. And I went for 1 3/4 in height from the bottom. Well, it ended up a little higher. That's fine. 1 7/8 from the bottom folded edge here is where this strip is. So I'm going to do the same thing here, but my strip here is on the right hand side, and I will do it here on the left hand side. So it's alternating. Also here is your fold, so if you do it on this side it doesn't really do anything, and on this side it will keep it closed. So to start off, I'm just going to close this up. I'm still working on this. And so what I did, this is the front, I flip it over, and then on the right hand side I'm going to mark the height. So let's just do the same thing as I did at the other one, at 1 7/8 of an inch. I just like to give myself a little bit of a tick mark, and I do that here as well, just to make sure that I do it straight. And I'm just going to leave it at this length here. I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the inside of this piece, so on the bumpy side of that piece, to attach it there. Okay. So I thought I'd just do a quick video on it, because sometimes I come up with these sort of things and then I don't have it in the tutorial on camera, and then I get questions from people like, how did you do that? And so I thought it was a good idea to just get it on camera. And let's see, I can just do it like this. That will be fine. I'm just going to have it like facing the back side of the folio, facing me, and I'm going to line up the score line here with the cut edge. Just make sure that I can still fold it when I glue it down. So maybe I want to add a little bit of wet glue to make sure that I don't stick it in the wrong spot. So you don't need this much length, right? It's just, that's the piece that I've used. But it does give you a little bit more strength to have it a little bit longer. So I'm lining up that first folded score line with the cut edge, and I have 2 pencil marks to make sure that I'm straight, and I'm just making sure that I can still fold it, and then I stick it down. And for burnishing it, I might want to flip it, go all the way to the bottom here. You see I've been doing quite a lot of decorating already, but I still have some stuff to do. And then that's in place, so it's not difficult, but I just wanted to show you. And what I did here is I've used corner punch only on one corner. Let's get that in frame. I thought it was different. I'm not sure if I like it, but I might do something like this. I'm still playing with it. I don't know yet, but I do want to have it the same, so I'm going to use my corner punch here as well. So there we go, and then I need magnets. And for me it's a little bit dark in here, but if I turn on my lights in the room, it really reflects in the video, so that's not making for a better video. So for me it's a little dark, so sometimes I struggle to see everything a little bit, but I think it gives me the best quality on the video. I am looking into getting some studio lights or something to get, if I need to turn on lights, it's at least decent light. So I'm just going to start with one magnet here on my on the inside of the flap that we've just placed down. I'm going to attach that with some double-sided tape. These magnets don't have adhesive on them, which is fine. It always gives a little bit of extra security if they do have adhesive on them. So I've placed a second magnet on top of the first one, just let it snap on there, and then I've placed a piece of double-sided tape with the sticky side facing me underneath. And now I'm going to make sure that my gussets are all nice and straight, and also the gusset of this flap. And I have a little bit of space, and I'm going to stick it and slide it to the side, and then I'm going to really make sure that this sticks here. Okay, so we have that in place. Now what I also want to show you is how I did this here. I like that element, and maybe you saw it quickly, and maybe you saw the project share, but I've been working a lot with strips to add some interest to the layouts. And what I did basically is I've marked with a pencil to where that flap is coming, and I measured that, and I feel that my flap is not straight on there, but we'll figure it out. And yeah, the same thing as here. I got a strip 1 3/4 of pattern paper, but let's first cut my pieces for here. So here I did green and then white on the closure, and I want to switch that up. So I have this scrap piece of the green solid, and I'm going to cut 2 strips of 1 inch from that. Okay, and then for this one I need one that's 4 1/8 of an inch, because I'm working with a 1/16 inch border. And then I have little scrap piece there. Okay, and then I need a piece of white, and I have some stuff prepared. I had this scrap piece that I'm going to use, and I've cut it to 1 3/4 in height at the bottom as well. Yeah, so I'm going to do that with this one, but you need to measure it, so that's why I have the pencil line there. If I place it here, I just want to end up slightly under the pencil line, but my closure is not completely straight. For some reason, when you try to do it on camera, it never goes right. I'm always off, which is fine. So we do this and this. Okay, I think I can make that work. So I've marked to where my closure is coming, and that determines this piece of paper. And I will be gluing that down. Now sometimes it's hard to see the edges of your flap, right? Because it's several layers, so I like to put something under it so I can really see my borders properly. And I will add some glue, preferred adhesive, right? And we will try to line it up. So like I said, I'm going for a 1/16 inch border. In this case, I think I'm gonna go a little lower towards the bottom to make sure that it lines up. Give everything a nice burnish, right, for a good stick, especially the corners. I'm always really, I don't know, how do you say that? Particular about it. And then this strip will go, and we want to make sure that we cover up our magnet properly. So that's why I didn't say it, but my tape is going in this direction for that reason, right? I don't want to have any tape going that way because it will show in between my strips, or things will get stuck onto it, dust, etc. So my tape will go in this direction only. And I like to remove that tape backing and put a little bit of wet glue on there. And doing this with the strips, it just helps with using your papers and your scrap pieces, because you don't need large pieces of pattern paper everywhere. So for me, it turned out to be really convenient doing it this way. I had it in my head from the beginning that I wanted to do it, but it also turned out that I can use my papers way better by doing it. Now when burnishing, my magnet is here. I want to burnish that edge really well, but I don't try to burnish too much around the magnet. I did it here a little bit, but the closer I get to the magnet, the more that magnet will show through your paper. So I always, maybe I do a little bit on top, but I am a little bit more careful with burnishing there. So this one can go up here, so I can do that quickly. Don't forget to ink. So I might do a strip of green on the inside as well. I'm not sure yet. I can still think about that later on. Okay, that is on. And then I've prepared something. I want to do the same thing that I did here, because I had a paper that was like this design, right, where you had strips of flowers, and I always find it hard to use those patterns. This is the back of the green, by the way. But what I did is I've just cut around one of the strips where the flowers, just cut around the flowers right here on top. Cut it to size in the width that I needed, and then I've backed it with some black cardstock in a way where I can just cut around it again, because I have those black stripes everywhere. I wanted to have it around the flowers as well. So I'm going to put this here on top, and what I now need to do is the highest point where I will see the pattern paper underneath it. I think it's here. So I'd mark it with my pencil. I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but there is a pencil there, and I'm going to measure the height of that up to my pattern paper strip here. So that's about 2 1/8 of an inch. Now I think this is too small, so I need a new piece. I'm afraid if I do stick this down, which is now also upside down, but that's, I will be just a little short. I think I can make it actually. Oh, I can make that. That's perfect, because then I don't have to cut into a new sheet. See, that's how ideal something can be sometimes. So just inking this. And if I need to place this a hair lower to make it work, I will do that. But basically that's what I did. So I measured, and then I've got my paper for on the bottom, actually maybe even a 1/4 inch higher, because you really don't have to go all the way to the top. You just want it to look good. The more layers you place down, the more bulk you get. So I would advise you on keeping it small, the border. So now these solids are directional because of the making sure that I'm not going to see the letter there, but I will cover it up. There is wording on the solids, so I need to yeah, it's directional, that's what I want to say, so I need to keep that in mind. Try to even everything out, but the downfall is of placing these strips, and I have it somewhere on one of the layouts, is I think actually my paper was not completely straight, the pattern paper, but yeah, you have a risk of going off along the way, so just keep that in mind. So I'm just going to place this down, and what I did here is, because I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'm thinking of placing a photo mat. So these are some scrap pieces. This is a 3x4 photo, but I think I might want to place it here. So I glued it down for now, where I can still let it go under the flowers, and then I will glue down later on the points that are sticking out, just to make sure that it doesn't get damaged along the way. So I will do the same thing there. I'm just going to glue down 3 sides and then a little more down, because I'm not planning on really using it as a tuck space or anything, but I just want to have the opportunity to put a photo under it if I want to. So I'm just gonna go something like that, and then later on I will glue down parts that I need to give some extra glue. So again, I'm making sure that I can see all my edges, and you really want to line up your paper right on the sides. That worked out perfectly. Sometimes you're just lucky like that. Okay, so you see this is coming up a little bit. I don't particularly like that. Now my closure will go on this side, so I probably will glue it down here, these parts, and place a photo. I think a 3.5 by 5 is going to be too big, but I might. Probably a 3 by 4 or something will go here nicely. So yeah, this is something that I need to work on later a little bit more, because now it's coming up a little bit. So yeah, this is the closure, and I still need to work on decorating this, but I think that turned out pretty nice, and that just holds these two parts together somewhat. But like I said, it's not really necessary. It will stay together without the magnets, but I think it's a nice element there, playful element. Okay, so that was a quick video on this. I'm going to finish up decorating this, fill it up with photo mats, so that I can make a project share and we can release this, of course. So for now, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.